Hey guys, so just a quick update. Let's see, it's Thursday the 18th, so this is actually 6.5 years to the day since I opened my humble little English school here in Tokushima, Japan. And tomorrow will be the last day of business for me, and it's pretty much set in stone. The parents of most of them have met the new teacher. She's seen most of the classes. I have a new job to go to, and she's getting all the contact information for the parents and students sorted with these forms. So it's definitely coming together. So each class I have this week is the last I'll have. So it's a little bit emotional saying goodbye to the kids, especially. They changed so much over the years, and for them, 6.5 years it's a really long time. I remember my son, who's going to be fifth grade next month. He used to come with some of his friends for English classes when I first opened, and they were just little puppies. They were 3 years old, and now they're out running out the door by themselves on bicycles and playing outside all day. It's just amazing how quickly life changes. And that's the whole point, though, really, right? Is that life does change, and you have to change with it, because generally speaking, if we just continue doing what we're doing, doing what we're doing indefinitely, there will come a time where that's going to be the results of, or be the cause of some pretty serious issues. It's like, how long do you really want to stay in first grade, right? Into your 30s, that would be a little bit odd. So I guess it's important to know when to move with the waves of life, and when enough is enough, and what you should do next, and how to make that happen. So I'm glad things have worked out the way they are. It's hard. It's going to be harder than I thought, I think, to finally move on. But it's the right thing to do. Sometimes in life you have to weigh the options. Like, you have A and B, and both are going to suck, but which one is going to suck less? And also potentially bring further options that the other option will not. And you have to go with that sometimes. It's like, I still remember the night I moved. Flew out to Japan. I stayed up all night, and then I took an early morning flight from Seattle to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco to Kansai. And I don't know if it was the wind or what, but the runway we were on was pointed straight due west, like towards the water, And I was sitting in the window seat, looking out when the plane took off, and you can see the runway kind of disappear, and then I saw almost right away, like the rocks, these big rocks along this beach, like the type you could sit on right on the ocean. And we just flew over those, and then sand, and then ocean. It was like 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Ocean for the next, and it's usually like 9 hours from. No, more. It's usually like 11, because you got a headwind from San Francisco to Kansai. But that was it. That was the start. A very clear start, and a very clear goodbye for now to the United States. It just couldn't have been more dramatic. You literally see your country go, there's oceans. Man. So I think the time invested here in Japan has not been waste by any means. The only thing I regret is not opening a school sooner. I think it was kind of a silly idea to go back and work for someone at an Eikaiwa after I'd already, had so before I started my last job, I had about 5 years of teaching experience, and then I went into a different job for another almost 2, and I shouldn't have done that. It was just a big waste of time. I was helping that school increase their student numbers, and they actually ended up closing about 6 years later. So the end result, though, of having run the school is I can function in Japanese society, which is really helpful because I live over here. What else? It's given me the time to work on other things. Like, when you work for a Japanese company, they really don't like it if you're doing something non-work related, even if there's nothing to do. Like, you just have to come in because it's summer break, and the kids aren't there. So my point is, it would have been really hard to try all the different things I was able to try while running the school, because I would have been busy doing work for somebody else, you know. So that's good. I got the experience of starting a business from nothing and building up the clientele and sticking with it, you know, over the years, which is another good skill. I think should look pretty good on a resume. At least better than like, yeah, I worked at Eikaiwa for some guy for 10 years. At least I can say, you know, I started it myself and ran it by myself for 6.5 years. So I would say, oh, okay, well, you can probably somewhat trustworthy, right? You're not a lunatic. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Definitely the time for the next stage in life has come. I'm not sure how things are going to go. I know I'll enjoy the work, but as far as carving out a new routine, you know, working from home, I've been doing it now for 4 months, I think, almost 5. But now that's gonna be it. You know, no more office, no more English school to go to. So I'll have plenty of time to hang out at home and do things like stay on top of the laundry and the dishes during the day, because that's the worst. You come home after a day and there's all this housework to do. And I used to teach this one online class. It was only 45 minutes from 6:45 to 7:30 on Tuesdays, but there was a notable difference in how much work I could get done if I didn't have that class. So like if I come home on a Wednesday night and just do all the housework, I can actually have some time at the end of the evening to read or whatever. With that one class, it would just like completely overturn the night. It was bizarre. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, is just having the time to do stuff over the course of the day, so that when I'm done with work, I won't be busy for 2-3 hours. You know, it'll be more like 30 minutes or something. So that'll be good. And I'm also really grateful that this job is remote and I can continue to work from Japan. Remote positions in software development are very highly sought after. They're pretty much worth their weight in gold, because it just cuts out so much of the tedious, you know, back and forth and driving and being in an office all the time, kind of canned during the work week. So that's been an awesome development, and I get to do a lot of problem solving and kind of helping people out, you know, not just with coding, but also just with mindset and workflow and things. You know, you get to spend a lot of time helping people feel better about the situation and helping them work through stuff, so that they can hopefully, you know, onboard all the skills they're creating, or I should say, developing during the course of building the apps and creating a portfolio. So that's awesome. And it's doubtful I ever would have had this opportunity if I hadn't had some experience in teaching, because the one element that really kind of became the foundation of the relationship I have with my boss is the fact that I reached out to him and I offered to give him feedback as a student, as a beginner at that, on his course, and it really helped him to understand the student experience more and kind of retool his course for people to be able to come into and make a more like kind of incremental, stable progress, instead of just like, oh my god, what is all of this, and then the course is over. So because I had an experience in education, I was able to share that with him and share some suggestions, and it led to a job opportunity with a company I know is good, with a boss I know I can trust, and I know is very hardworking and accountable, and that likely would not have happened if I hadn't been over here running my own little school. So things in life work out sometimes. It's just really important, I think, to be working on something in the background, you know, whatever it is, whether you're studying, you know, how to run a business, or marketing, or Japanese, or martial arts, or software development, whatever it is, as long as it's something that in some way can prepare you for an opportunity in the future. And I think you're on a good path, for sure. You know, they say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it looks like luck, but it's really just kind of the convergence of an opportunity that you are prepared by having the skills necessary and the experience necessary to take advantage of, right? So that's what I'm going to do over the next year or two, is just get really, really good at software development, and maybe reassess from there whether it's realistic to start a company here in Japan, doing some kind of online education, or if it would be better to just get a job, making 80, 90 grand a year. That's pretty good. I don't know any English teachers who make that. So, although I think maybe some other people with like 10 or 15 schools might make that, but they're busy, they're running around. It's a lot to stay on top of, so we'll see. The idea of starting another business is definitely enticing, especially if it's something that was scalable and I could make like, 10, 20 grand a month at. But there's a big opportunity cost to starting a business. As I learned when I opened my school, you spend a lot of time away from your family. In the beginning, the amount of work to income ratio is horrific. You're basically working for free, which is to be expected. But having already gone through it, it's hard to say if I'll do it again. I suppose I'll just need to keep it on the table as an option, right? You never want to say never, because then that just cuts you off from any potential changes in the future, any potential opportunities. But I am sure that by working hard at this new job and continuing to develop my skills, that I will be prepared for many, many opportunities down the road. And I think Japanese also will play a part in that. A lot of companies looking for software developers, they appreciate it if you have Japanese. They're really happy about that, but it's kind of difficult to find someone who's a skilled developer and a mostly fluent Japanese speaker. So that could be an edge. We'll see. Anyways, I am definitely determined to keep studying and learning and working hard. And having run this school was definitely an experience that helped me develop a lot of parts of my character and the way I see the world that I may not have been able to otherwise. When you really take the plunge and you take on a massive amount of responsibility, that's a long-term commitment, multiple years of you showing up and doing a good job. It does change you for sure. I think the only other thing I could imagine that would generate a similar effect would, well, I guess getting married is one. Maybe going to school for an advanced degree, going for your PhD or something, or maybe joining the military and trying to get into the special forces, where you have to just grind for 2 or 3 years, and give it everything, and then you graduate. So I'm definitely grateful for everything. It's hard to avoid the 2020 hindsight, where you look back in your life and be like, yeah, I should have done this, I should have done that. I often ask myself, like, especially when I'm remembering something from childhood, like in the early 90s, towards the later half of grade school, if I'm like, man, if I could go back to say 6th grade, right before junior high, knowing what I know now, which would be a totally bizarre experience, what would I do, It's an interesting thought experiment. You can kind of look back and think, okay, then I would do this, and I would do this, and I would do this, right? And you could easily be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. You know what stocks to buy, what industry to get into, maybe what relationships to avoid, which is a big one, because we can lose a lot of our lives and our sanity to bad relationships. It would just be too easy, to get to what you would consider a good life. But you can also do that now, though, too. You can lead up, kind of work yourself up to where you are now. It's not very easy because it's very hard to be objective about your situation, especially when you're busy and you've got a lot of responsibilities and you're tired. It's like you just feel like I can't do it, but you can work up to the present moment and just think like, okay, what kind of opportunities are in the world? How do I relate to them? Are there any that I can take advantage of? What do I have to do to start making it happen? And I think whenever someone starts their own business, that's kind of the thought process they go through. Is they kind of look at the market, their skill set. You have to research a lot to start a business and have it do well. And the last thing you want to do is just throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. Because if it doesn't, you're in trouble. So that was another process that by going through, I became a little better at making life choices, I like to think. So anyways, yeah, I'm starting to jabber. I just kind of wanted to throw some updates out. So yeah, tomorrow's the last day of classes, and Saturday will be the first time I've been able to sleep in on a Saturday for a very long time. And I'm probably going to do that and then go for a nice bike ride. I think it's supposed to be good weather. Let's see. Oh no, it's supposed to rain. Well, either way, I'm going to go for a nice bike ride, get a 2-3 hour mountain ride in. Try to enjoy the weekend with my kids. And then from next week, I'm going to have to start the big cleanup and kind of sorting through what's garbage and what stays. Do maybe a bit of a deep clean for the new teacher. Take my computer to my house. All of this is going to have to start happening. And then, let's see, when does the month end? Shoot, dang, I thought I had a permalink to the calendars. I do, just a second. So where are we? 18th. Yeah, so there's like a week and a half after this weekend till the end of the month. So I'll probably hand off the keys to the teacher like on the 29th or 30th, so she can have a few days to get settled in, and I'll just use next week to get out of here. So definitely surreal, but it's just something that's got to be done. You know, I have a lot of emotional investment, a lot of memories in this place, but like I say, you don't want to stay in first grade forever, right? There's a point where you just, with your age, you know, people are gonna be like, why is he still here? You know, like, am I gonna be 65 coming in here and like bifocals and teaching kids that are like 50, 60 years younger than me the alphabet? I don't think so. So anyways, that's that. I'll probably put 1 or 2 more videos up before I call this channel a day.